All right, give it up for Brother Earth again. They're coming back up in a couple hours.
Great job, Brother Earth.
All right, we're doing another public announcement, recognizing a lot of the sponsors that make this event happen. And we just want to put a shout out for Rivers Bend. Bruce Goldberg's going to be coming up here speaking next, along with Pine Rest. Thank you. The Recovery Mobile Clinic. Go visit the Recovery Mobile Clinic. They do great work. They're across the street over there. They brought their big RV. Wellness Institute of Michigan. CARE of Southeast Michigan. LAP is here, the Labor Assistance Professionals. Jimmy is going to be speaking a little later. He's the National Director of the program. We got Live Right. Where's Live Right at? There we go. Got a few people coming in from Roseville. New Pass over here from Flint. Thank you guys. The Alliance of Coalitions for Healthy Communities. We got them over in the corner over here. Meridian Health Services. Partners for Recovery. Back over by the statue over there. They're doing a survey. If you get a chance, so you can go, fill out their survey. And Am Better Health. The Big Red Barrel right here. They got barrels in all state police facilities, and I forgot how many throughout the state. But they're doing a great job with drug disposal. Pinnacle Recovery, where are you, Pinnacle? I know they brought some people. Pasadena Villa. And Wellness INX. You heard from Debbie Smith a little earlier. So thank you to all our sponsors. We'll get on with the program now. We got Corey to introduce the next speakers.
Just want to make an announcement that at 1 o'clock, just kind of up here by the stage, if you want to meet up here, at 1 o'clock there's going to be a Narcan training. And you get free Narcan. So 1 o'clock for that. Also, Angel of Grace, they have the bracelets. And if you see people putting carnations on the steps here, we're going to do a memorial line at 2 o'clock. But if you're not going to stay till then, or if you want to place it now, you can. But the table for the carnations are over to my right. And we're going to do that at 2 o'clock. Right now, though, let's get on with the speakers. And the Honorable Clinton Kennedy III is our next speaker. So let's welcome Honorable Clinton Kennedy III. He's coming. All right, welcome.
Well, what a wonderful day it is for recovery in the community and all the groups that we have. Certainly there's been a raising of the awareness concerning recovery. But what happens for those folks who are still out there suffering, who haven't gotten the message yet? I recall when I was first running for office, I had a telephone call-in candidate show. And at the end of the show, the facilitator asked me, this is during an election run, the facilitator asked me, what was the most important thing that happened in my life? I think he said most significant thing that happened in my life. And I paused. I paused, it seemed like for about 2 minutes, but in reality it probably was about 10 or 15 seconds. And I said the most important thing that happened to me was to be free from substances. And I certainly hope that most of the people here can make that a true statement for themselves, to be free from substances. So you can get to a point where the contrasting difference between how it used to be and how it is today is the difference between night and day. You know, that's a very important concept. So in some circles I'm known as Judge Clinton Kennedy, in other circles I'm known as Tranquil Clinton. And Tranquil Clinton, I'm acting the way I want to be in hopes that one day I'll be the way I act. And that's been important for me. No one ever said recovery was going to be easy, but they did say it was going to be worth it. And so you have to live your way there, and all we can do, and I see we have a lot of information providers here, is provide information to those still suffering alcoholics and addicts and hope that it takes. And we don't know how many times somebody has to receive the message or how many times somebody has to go to detox before the light comes on. And what they taught me was it was a thinking problem. I had a thinking problem that was difficult for me. I was an attorney. I had a couple of degrees from prestigious university. And what was wrong with my thinking? I thought that I just got out of control sometimes when I drank and drug too much. And so I'm grateful that there were some predecessors who worked with me who allowed me to see that I had to change my way of thinking, and they actually nourished and nurtured me back to life and living in spite of me not wanting to be here. So no one wants to think that the middle world that they've lived is incorrect. And that's one of the biggest barriers to recovery is our expectation of how we thought it was supposed to be. Me, I was a guy, you heard those people who go in and say, I know what I need to recover, but they've never been successful. So how do you know what you need to recover if you haven't been successful in doing that? And so we have a lot of places you can go now, and certainly the court system has changed their attitude concerning substance abuse as well. We really also are another rehabilitation agency for those people who are willing to give a chance. And I tell the people who come before me, I understand all we can do is give you some information. That's the only thing we can do is give you some information. And we hope that that information takes for you. So one of those people that got me to wake up, so to speak, I was at a meeting one day and I was talking about how I thought my life should be. And really, I thought that once I stopped using, I could continue to go on to live that lifestyle I was living. Didn't realize that I had to give up that lifestyle too. They tell us that in words of giving up your playgrounds and playmates, but sometimes it takes other words for it to sink in. And for me, it was a lifestyle issue. I wanted to still do the same things I was doing, but just not get high. Of course, that was impossible because I realized that getting high was designed, my lifestyle was designed for that. And so I was at a meeting talking about that, and there was an old timer, and I chuckled because now I've become an old timer myself. But I chuckled at old timer, and the old timer looked at me and he said, Clinton, we're going to assume that you were working to the best of your ability, that your thought process was the best that you could do, and we want to remind you that it has you right here, right now, with us in this meeting. And we're going to further suggest to you that that lifestyle is not going to get you out of this situation. You never know when someone at a meeting or in life is going to say the words that cause you to change your whole perspective about what's going on. That was the day for me where I had to stop and think to myself, yes, I'm in recovery. I've had a long road to get here. I was a chronic relapser. I didn't want to follow prescribed steps. I had difficulty with a higher power. I was agnostic that said God is for those people who need such a thing, and it wasn't me. And so I had a lot of barriers to overcome. But the main was just keep coming and your life would get better. The way I got over the God concept was I had a sponsor that broke it down like this. He says, I believe that everyone who goes and comes into the rooms of recovery asks for help in some fashion. They didn't necessarily ask from a higher power. Sometimes they just ask the universe. I don't want to go to jail again. I don't want to lose my children. I don't want to lose my job. And something happens. Usually you might go to jail again, lose your children, and lose your job, but you find yourself in the rooms of recovery. And my concept of recovery certainly was not in the rooms of 12-step programs. That was not my concept. And so we find ourselves having to look at that and say, No one gets to the rooms of recovery by mistake or accident. You're being given an opportunity by your whatever you believe in, the universe, because there is a solution there in that room. So the sponsor said, Clinton, it isn't true that you used to drink and got drunk. I said, yes, that's true. He says, and you don't get drunk anymore, do you? I said, no, I don't. And he said, and isn't it true that you used to use and you got loaded? I said, yes, that's true. And he says, you don't get loaded anymore, do you? I said, yes, that's true also. And he said, hasn't your life gotten better? And I said, yes, it has gotten better. And his comment to me was one that changed my whole perspective on recovery. He said, what else did I need to know about God or higher power, other than the fact that I had already received the benefit of the miracle and that I wasn't using? And so the result is that we keep coming back and we keep doing those things. We continue to grow. I remember the first time I came down here and spoke, it was maybe half the amount of people that we have here today. And so we have a great number of people here, all associated with recovery, talking about a new and better way of life, so that we can all say at one point our life is better. And that contrasting difference is important because you have to remind yourself of how it is. I know I tell people when I go to meetings, and I still go to meetings on a regular basis, I say I have to go to meetings to remind myself of who I really am. Because the places I go now, and the things I do, and the opportunities I've been presented as a result of not using, the people, if I hung around with them all the time, wouldn't even believe me if I told them I was an alcoholic and an addict. They wouldn't even believe me. And I know if I just hung around them, there would come a time when I would tell myself that was just a bad chapter. I'm not going to repeat that situation that happened to me. Thanks for the information. So I have to go to remind myself of what already has happened, remind myself of who I really am, and also recognize that if I live long enough, everything that happens to everybody else is going to happen to me too. Didn't mean I didn't pray hard enough, work hard enough, sponsor enough people. It just becomes my turn. My turn comes. I have to see what the people do so that they did not have to use or pick up in this manner. So again, for newcomers, I say, don't quit quitting. Many of us had to go through this to break down that resistance, that self-deception, that illusions. But the main thing is simply be willing to follow the prescribed steps. If you can get through the steps 1 through 12, you will have a different perspective. You will have a different outlook on your life. And so now I'm in a position where I'm still in recovery, and I still send people to recovery. You know, we have a lot of programs. I have a program known as Sure Sanctions that offers rehabilitation services. Offers drug counseling, offers peer recovery coaches, offers residential treatment, all at no cost to the offender. Because we found out that it didn't do much good for us to order people to do a lot of things if they didn't have any funds to carry out. So we found out it was important that there be funds available so that when they come into these programs, all they have to do is hopefully take advantage of the information. So I'm very glad to be here, glad to see the great crowd, and I still say as I stand here today that the best thing for me was getting to recovery and being able to stay. I'm one of those people that says I was given as many chances as was necessary to comprehend what was going on in the rooms of recovery. And we all know people who got 0 chances or 1 or 2 chances, dead, incarcerated for long periods of time. I was given as many chances as was necessary, and so that really recovery saved my life and gave me a life, and we can't ask for more. So I want to wish everybody here to keep on with your road to recovery, take advantage of all the services that are available here, and if you're a newcomer, if you're a person who thinks you might want to try this way, just remember, it's definitely worth it if you can stay. Thank you very much.
Give it up for the Honorable Judge Kennedy. It's good stuff what he does for us, man. That was a great story. And it's good when you hear people like that get up here and say, I was a hot mess. I mean, he didn't say that, but he said that, you know? So thank you again, Judge. Our next speakers.
Hey, Judge.
Are two of them, actually. Chris Nixon from the Henry Ford Health Maple Grove and Brighton Center, the director, and the director from Rivers Bend, Bruce Goldberg. So welcome them to the stage here. UFAM 2025. Here's Bruce.
There you go, right?
Thanks, everybody. So, wow, once again, coming up here and seeing this many people advocating is just awesome. This has really become just a marquee event, and I know we look forward to it every year. Seeing so many people coming out just for the greater good. For those that have ever had family members or anybody else involved in any other illness, there's cancer walks and diabetes walks, and so to see the advocacy and so many people coming out for substance use and the care is great. So, today, generally I'm not too speechless. So when I asked Scott, hey, what should I talk about this year? And he said advocacy, which is obviously right now probably number one on so many people's minds that are here. And so really, so happy to be up here with Chris again because we work so closely with Maple Grove. And I think, a couple of things to really say. It does not make a difference as we're here on the Capitol what party you're part of, what side of the aisle you're part of. Substance use and mental health care is not partisan. This is about the most bipartisan event and most bipartisan issue that's out there. And you read the papers every day right now, and you're hearing about cuts that could come. And I gotta ask, please reach out to your politicians. Talk to them about the impact. We have come so far. I've been in the field now 30 years. We have come so far at putting substance use and mental health care as acceptable and something that people seek, and the shame has gone down so much, and that's, so thankful to so many people like you guys that are out here that do the work every day. Don't let that go away. There is no doubt, there is not a lack of treatment out there. What there is a lack of knowing how to get resources. And the importance of connecting, days like this, get to know if the government's going to keep things going. What we do know is the more people you know and the more connections you have, the better chance you have of getting your clients and your patients the help that they need. And the more I come to these events and the more I get to meet people, and there are just so many great people in this field, the more that I come out of here knowing that we're able to get help for people. And so, the two things really that come through this is please advocate. Don't let the most vulnerable part of the population lose the benefits they have. Make sure that they're able to get the help, and make sure also a lot of people that are here, their centers don't close down, because we have some great people that do amazing work. And connect while you're here today. Get to know other people so that you're able to utilize them, and connect with the big companies, connect with the small companies. There's a lot of very big corporate companies that have come into Michigan, and they provide services that have been missing for some years. And there's also a lot of small practitioners, and when you work together, you're able to give much more help. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Chris, who runs Maple Grove Recovery Center and Brighton Center for Recovery. Just a phenomenal person that we've worked with for years, that has helped probably hundreds of thousands of people at this point. So let me hand it over to Chris.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you. Oh, we don't want feedback. I am truly humbled and honored to be in your presence today. This really re-energizes me and the mission. This is very, very personal for me, deeply personal for me. This is an opportunity to really experience hope in the moment. And I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, somebody here is struggling. Somebody here has probably relapsed in the last 48 hours. Someone here has had a craving or an urge. And guess what? You're here. You're here. and you're pausing, disrupting that process of relapsing by reaching out and connecting with others around you. So as somebody who is an administrator with a great organization at Henry Ford Health, having the opportunity to bring together incredible programs, Maple Grove Center for Addiction, Brighton Center for Recovery, Washington Way in Jackson, Eastwood Clinics in Southfield. We really have a breadth of services to offer through HFH, Henry Ford Health. So we have a table over there, come say hi. But I really want to just extend the thought process of possibility and embracing the challenge that comes with working to remain sober every single day. As I said, for those of you hanging on, my wife, by the way, clean and sober from opioid addiction, 8 years. 8 years this past December, okay? Now my brother, he passed away 3 years this upcoming June, struggled lifelong with addiction, had chronic medical conditions that ultimately led to the end of his life. But he did find recovery, and he found joy in recovery. And I remember some of the best times we had was while he was in recovery as little brother, looking up to big brother, who was always the protector. And we had some incredible times going to Michigan State Spartan football games. Go Green! Go Green! All right, that was waiting for that. Okay, well, we'll accept Go Blue too. But anyway, we had a lot of fun. I can remember growing up with my brother and just going to baseball games, Detroit Tigers, which, by the way, how about those Tigers? Go Tigers! That game last night, incredible. Avi Baez, huh? 2 home runs, 6 RBI. That's pretty impressive. One of the things, too, I wanted to mention is that I've gotten the opportunity to learn a little bit about positive psychology and mental skills that professional athletes employ day in and day out to master their craft. And so one of the things that I've learned in working with some professional athletes over the years is their commitment and their dedication every single day through repetition, doing the same thing over and over again, but then also receiving feedback to make the corrections to become the best version of themselves. And it's no different than when somebody who is struggling or relapses, that they learn, embrace learning. It's about a reset. It's a journey of progression. It's not about perfection. And learning through your relapse what you can do to reset to get better. Same mentality that a professional athlete has. Taking that feedback, that information, and saying, what can I do differently? What can I do better? But the first step is making that commitment and having a daily commitment that just for today, just for this minute, just for this hour, I'm going to stay sober. And then knowing what you're going to do through the commitment to stay sober for that minute, for that hour, for that day. For that minute, that hour, for that day. And it's a daily commitment. And dare I say, and we know this word through the Detroit Lions, you got to have a little bit of grit. You got to have a little grit with this. This is not a passive thing. You can't just say, okay, I'm in treatment, now what? You've got to actively engage. You have to have a growth, open mindset to be able to take it in, and through acceptance and a willingness and a determination. You know, we talk a lot about powerlessness and succumbing to the fact that your life has become unmanageable and that you're powerless over your drug of choice. But I'm here to tell you that you are empowered and you have power through daily commitment to your sobriety, and you never give up. You never quit quitting. Okay, we celebrate people that walk through our doors multiple times. Never give up. That's what we've learned in terms of the successful outcomes is that the people that keep on trying, and never quit quitting, you're gonna find it. You're gonna find it, and you're gonna connect with it at some point. If you adopt that growth mindset, that open mindset, and embrace the challenge and the openness to learn. Learn. It's about learning. It's not about being defective. It's not about being broken. It's not about being a piece of shit. It's not about any of that, because you're not that. You're incredibly beautiful and special in every way. And you love yourself, and you gotta have that love for yourself and learn about self-compassion to be able to invest into you so that you can find your purpose. Find your purpose through sobriety. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. To be able to connect with your family again, to find purpose in your community, to find purpose at your job. That's what comes with the gifts of sobriety. But I'll tell you, there's a gift that comes with addiction, and that is the opportunity for possibility and personal transformation. To come off an automatic pilot and embrace the now and connect to the now and live your life. There's people that don't struggle, well, most of us do struggle with addiction to this, our phones, right? A lot of us have process addiction. So, and a lot of us are walking around that maybe don't have an addiction to alcohol or meth or opioids, but we're walking around mindlessly on automatic pilot. You, by embracing the challenge of addiction to get better, you have the opportunity to step away from that and live a life transformatively, and live a life that's meaningful, and live a life off of automatic pilot, embracing joy and finding joy and learning how to just ebb and flow through the day. Understand you're going to have ups and downs, but being able to manage it and deal with it and cope with it, that's what joy is. Joy's not about being happy all the time. Joy's not about materialism and having the car and the house and all of that crap. Joy is about flowing with life and finding meaning and purpose in your life. That's what this is about, and that's what you have at your disposal when you don't use. There is always that opportunity. There's always that opportunity. And connection and love to others. You inspire me every day, every single day. You are my why, my team, through Brighton, through Maple Grove, through Henry Ford. You are our why. You are why we come to work and we serve you. We're here to serve you. And just to honor those who have passed on because of addiction, my brother, my father, and all of our loved ones, let's just take a moment. This is just very impromptu. Bow our heads in silence, just for a moment, to honor those who have passed on. All right, thank you for that moment. And for them, we love, we support, we encourage each other, we lift each other up. We do it for them and then ultimately for ourselves. Thank you for your time. Love to all of you. Thank you. I'm like, where's my phone? I lost my phone. I had a panic moment. No, I'm kidding.
Got a phone for sale. Well, somebody's car was getting broken into. I think. Anyway, welcome to 2025 UFAM Rally. And we're about to let you hear from Senator Joe Bellino in just a second. But first, I want to welcome Brian Stevens, singer, songwriter, paper catcher. Brian Stevens to sing the national anthem. So please stand, remove your hats, and enjoy Brian.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Brian Stevens, everybody. And now we'll welcome to the stage a guy who fights hard for recovery in ways he can. Let's welcome Senator Joe Bellino.
If there's any other senators or House members out there, hello, Sheriff Swanson. Come on up. My name is Joe Bellino. I'm a senator from Southeast Michigan. And long before I was voted into serving in this building behind me, I was a dope fiend.
Tell me if you need me to.
Here's what our disease does. My first year here, I befriended a friend, became friends with a man in the house on the other side of the aisle. We started going to meetings together. We were staying sober together. And he went back out drinking. Caught a charge on a Monday night coming down from up north, here in Lansing. Next morning, we're texting, trying to help the guy. What's he do? He does what addicts do. He took his life at 9:30 in the morning. A sitting state representative. Our disease kills people. Our disease destroys families. But if you're able to get some clean time and get some sobriety and find a power greater than yourself, look what can happen. This is my favorite day of the year, when addicts outnumber assholes in Lansing. Yes! Yeah! Have a great day. I gotta get back to work. I love you all. Stay sober.
That's what's up. All right, Joe Bellino, give it up for Joe one more. Now we're going to welcome Sheriff Chris Swanson. All right. Genesee County it is, right? All right.
Welcome, everybody. I come here as the sheriff from Flint, Michigan. If you have been clean or dry for just at least one day, just give me a hand clap and a cheer for freedom. And you know what's most important for those days? Is the family that never gave up on you. If you're a family cheering on somebody who's clean and dry, shout out. I can tell you in Genesee County, 3 generations of brokenness and addictions. The key is never to give up, to set boundaries. And when those boundaries are set, people know that there's a line they cannot cross. But when they are victorious, you celebrate that victory. I saw it and I've seen it over and over where people have literally drawn the line and said, no more. No more meth, no more weed, no more drinking, no more nothing. And when you see this and you turn people around, they become the testimony. When you see a father and a daughter who will draw that line in the sand and say, we're going to change the way we do business, we're going to change the way we think, they are the living testimony. These are individuals who will not give up. They are clean and dry today because they went through the Genesee County Jail, they got involved in education, and they are now advocates for freedom. against any kind of addiction. I'd love for you to meet them right from Flint, Michigan. Carl, bring your daughter up here. Tatiana Maddox. There's a father and a daughter right here. Give them up. Give it up. Carl was incarcerated with his daughter at the exact same time at the Genesee County Jail. They both enrolled in the Ignite education program, a culture change to give folks a different path. When Carl got out, his daughter was graduating. He came back to the jail to celebrate her graduation. Now they're both free. They're both clean and dry. This is the testimony of why we're here today. Give it up for a father and a daughter. Just before I came up, Carl pulled me aside. Now this is what we call an OG in the system. Carl said, hey man, it's hard for me to speak at NA on Sundays because it's at 11 o'clock. I got church at 11 o'clock till noon. Can you help move it? Can I tell you, this is where leadership comes in. If you have the ability to help people, then you take advantage of it. Carl, we're going to move that to make it more advantageous for people to come and serve the people of Genesee County Jail just on that Sunday. That's what you do when you have people believe in the system. I'm just going to leave you with this. Every day, keep fighting. Fighting for the people, giving hope to people, believing in people. That's what's going to free people. Amen? Amen. And for everybody listening, not one person in this room, on this stage, not one person on this lawn has not been touched by the disease of addiction. And you are the one that needs to stand in the gap. So if you do your part, I do my part, we do our part, we will save lives every single day. Are you with me? Are we going to keep fighting for people? And we're going to have more testimonies this time next year. One last shout out from my friends, father and daughter, the Maddox.
Chris Swanson has done an amazing job being the sheriff of Flint, Genesee County, and I just want to give him a big round of applause because that jail changed my life, and I'm here today clean and sober because of the whatever. I just had an amazing time. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks.
Chris Swanson. He makes Flint sound fun. I don't want to go to jail in Flint though. But no, Chris Swanson, thank you so much, man. Again, just a little bit, about 15 minutes, a little under 15 minutes. There's going to be a Narcan training over here to my right. So if you're interested in doing Narcan training, go over there, get some Narcan. Go check it out. There's also yoga, acupuncture, there's pictures, there's kind of a line right now, there's free food in the back as well. Make sure you take advantage of all that. At 2 o'clock, we're going to do the gratitude memorial line, where if you want to come up and remember somebody who maybe you've lost, or if you want to say what you're grateful for. Like Kim Hopkins, she's in the audience today. She might be like, I'm grateful for being sober today. She might say that, I don't know, but she can do that at 2 o'clock and you can too. So feel free. Check out the Angel of Grace. They have a table out by the road, kind of the red table drop out. Check it out. They got really cool bracelets if you want to check that out. And I believe we're going to call now Tracy Shahori. Yeah, Tracy Shahori. The Zach's Warriors and Partners for Recovery. She's going to talk to you about stuff today that happened, yeah. All right, welcome Tracy.
Hi everybody. Hi. So thank you for being here, for showing up for yourself and for your loved ones, because we all stand united to face addiction, right? Right. So first, I want to thank a couple of people. I want to thank my husband, who has never come and listened to me because it's too painful. He's here somewhere, I just don't know where. Thank you for being here. I want to thank my best friends standing down here in front, Terry and Joe. Went to high school and college with them, and then also I want to thank a real special person to Zachary. His friend, his co-worker, drove from Tennessee with his girlfriend, Hunter. Hunter, where's Hunter? So mine is a little different, guys. There's my husband. So mine's a little different. I want to tell you my story. Will you listen to it? Yeah! All right. Zachary Quinton Sahori, he was my son. He was born on September 26, 1993. Happened to be my birthday. It's a great birthday present. He passed away from fentanyl poisoning December 23rd, 2021. He was 28 years old. This morning when I got off the expressway at Kalamazoo Street, it made me sick to my stomach. Zach died on Kalamazoo Street here in Lansing. Zach wasn't trying to die. He was smart, he was funny, he was creative. He played the guitar, he sang with his whole heart, and he loved deeply. He struggled, yes, but he also tried. He never gave up. And I feel his story deserves to be told. As a parent, I carry guilt and complexity from raising a child through addiction. I should have known better. I was a teacher, I was a school administrator. I helped kids through their problems every single day. But this was different. This was different. Zach had a spark. He was precocious. He was passionate. He was full of energy. He loved challenges. He loved mischief. He loved risk-taking. But you know what? Somebody said it to me today, I don't know where. He lit up every room when he came in. But most importantly, he was misunderstood, folks. His ADHD. How many of you out there struggled with some hyperactivity or ADHD? Yeah, I know. It was dismissed a lot as bad behavior. He refused to be labeled, though. He didn't want to be labeled anything. He wanted to be himself. His energy made some people uncomfortable. He didn't care because it made others happy. He bounced just like you. He bounced into rooms. Some took that as a very arrogant bounce. But he was the furthest. Those of you who knows that, he was the furthest thing from arrogant.
I thought it was a good shot.
I want you to listen to this part. It's important to me. I don't know that my husband told me this morning, stay away from details, but I'm not going to, folks. Over time, criticism chipped away. And in the quiet of that shame, he found a calm in drugs, marijuana. I wish I would have known now about trauma, co-occurring disorders, and how untreated pain can spiral out of control. You know what I'm talking about. But one moment I'm never going to forget is, this happened in high school. I want to take you all back to your high school experience. He had a 3.5 GPA, he's very smart. He was accepted to Michigan State. He had never really been in trouble in school for drugs and hadn't been suspended. But the office called him down. I want you all to think about that, how you felt when the office would call you down. They said to him, we want to search you and your car. If you cooperate, the consequences will be far less. We won't need to involve the police. But guess what? The police were waiting outside, out front. They found less than an ounce of marijuana in his car. And yes, he was in therapy, he was doing the work. He was trying. But still, weeks later, he was expelled. I guess that's called zero tolerance, right? No second chance, no opportunity to make it right. And at that board meeting deciding his consequences, a board member stated, it is not in the best interest of our district to keep kids here who use or distribute drugs. So I want to ask you, where do they go? Where did they go? He never recovered from that. It followed him to college. He pushed through until he couldn't anymore. 5 years later, I got the call I had hoped to get. Mom, can I move in with you? He had never been back with me since high school. He knows he needed a change. He came home, he got a job working with autistically impaired young adults, but he never worked a day of that job because he went back to Lansing to finish moving out, and he sang one last time. A woman that knew him asked him if he would sing for him one last time at a local bar, Smoky Bones. That woman asked him, do you want soft or hard? You guys know what I'm talking about? Yes, it was cocaine laced with fentanyl. That high, that piece he always chased, took his life. Zach's case, his homicide case was recently dismissed. Not enough evidence, not enough energy, not important enough. We spent Christmas Eve with a detective who said it was most likely heroin. Your son just got into the wrong crowd. Is there a wrong crowd?
My camera guy always gets the...
He then told us to take a number because there were so many fentanyl deaths in Lansing. My daughter, who's not here today, by choice, she will forever have the uncovered image of Zachary laying on the ground. You see, the woman who called 911, she lived nearby, and she was asked by 911 to start CPR on him and get him Narcan. But instead, she Facebook Lived his story.
What is it? Level 12.
She set another one down.
Is that... I've mostly met you.
I understand her frustration, but what she forgot was that beautiful soul lying on the ground, trying to get his last breath with someone's brother, someone's friend, someone's cousin, someone's nephew, and he was my son. My son's life was treated like a misstep, not a tragedy, not a preventable loss, not just another number. So addiction ripples outward. It shook my marriage, it changed my children, it changed me. Zachary didn't die from a lack of potential. Zachary died because our systems are not designed to heal. They are designed to punish. They are designed to shame. They are designed to exclude. I was so happy to hear Sheriff Swanson up here trying to make some changes in Genesee County, Flint, Michigan. That's right.
Thank you, Tracy!
Zachary didn't die because he wanted to die. We need early intervention. We need trauma-enforced education. We need compassion in policy. We don't need judgment. We don't need judgment. Recovery is not a privilege, you guys. Recovery is a right. I want to tell you this real quick. I was reading this Buddhist teaching, and it's talking about two arrows. The first arrow is pain that we get shot with. We get shot with at some time in our life. We can't help it. It's loss, it's heartbreak, it's grieving. But the second arrow we shoot ourselves with, and it's suffering. Shame, guilt, blame, we shoot ourselves with that arrow. It's optional. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. All of you are here because you don't want to suffer anymore. So surround yourself with positivity, not the fake kind, but the kind that lifts you.